Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now.
So, were you born and raised in Australia?
Yes, I was born and raised in Sydney. So haven't gone too far. Have done lots of traveling, but I kind of went, yeah, it's just always been my heart and connection, and family were here. So, and particularly my dad. My dad passed 5 years ago from a brain tumor. So, and he had that for a significant period of time. So, yeah, so we always just stayed close. So I married a Sydney guy. We've been married for 33 years.
Really? I got you beat. I'll be married 37.
Woo! There you go.
But girl, that's a whole nother podcast we could talk about.
I know, right? It's like, yeah, that's right. So,
Let me ask you really quickly, what is your secret to success and love? How have you been able to, stay so close for 33 years?
Oh, I think it's been because we always wanted to, one, we're best friends, to marry your best friend with mega benefits, right? I think that's the heart. And then also have an attitude of, I hope I help you be the best person you can be, and I want you to do that as well. So therefore I feel like we're always each other's biggest fan, right? So we don't compete in that way. I don't want to be his competition. I want to be his lover, his supporter, his best fan. And I want, if he is his best self, then it's going to come back in spades to our marriage and our parenting and to me, and the same thing. So I feel that for us, one of our major secrets, because everyone's fascinated particularly with our relationship, going, wow, you two are just so scrumptious. And I go, you know what, it's been faith, shared faith, and shared desire to go, if we're going to do this life together, we should really do it well to empower each other.
Exactly.
And then we'll shine. That's it. It's not rocket science, but I think a lot of people just get stuck in themselves, and you are two selves in a relationship, but you can't be an island, right? You've got to be in the same team.
And it has to be a winning team, and you have to really want that other person to succeed as well. But we're about to succeed. Hello, Brains, and welcome home. You are on the edge with April Mahoney and Annie Gibbins of South Australia. What? Okay. I'm telling you, this woman is more than the eye can see in so many ways. Let me look at my notes here. Annie's husband is the owner and founder of an optical dispensing college. These things that we can't live without. Annie is amazing because she's going to talk to us about glaucoma and eye disease, something that I have to live with, Brains. So I want to talk a little bit about that. She is also a global women's coach. She is the director of MRKH Australia. She's on the board of that. And Brains, this woman had 2 sets of twins within 26 months?
26 months.
Okay. That's why I asked her about that love relationship. Okay, it's more than being each other's fan. They're fanning each other, literally. She's amazing and she's wonderful, and I'm so glad to have her here. She is the transformation queen, and she's here with us on the edge today, and we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. So Annie, please color in the white spaces for me and my brains and tell them all about you.
Thanks, April. First of all, so awesome to be joining you from Sydney, Australia on our Easter Friday. So about me, that's right. I am a global women's empowerment coach and mentor, and you can find me at anniegibbons.com. And so I'm all things about helping my fellow sisters around the world to achieve their best self. Many of us get stuck and stressed and overwhelmed by the realities of life. And so my passion, due to my journey, which we'll unpack today, is all about valuing yourself. You're born on this planet for a reason, clarifying your purpose, achieving success in your own terms and knowing what those terms are, right? And then I've also obviously helped people, build their businesses to become awesome successes. And so, yeah, so I do that. I'm also CEO of Glaucoma Australia, which is an eye health charity. I'm very passionate about health promotion and trying to help people save sight, which is preventable blindness. And I've also got a podcast called Memoirs of Successful Women, where I get to share about women's journeys, which are so different. I also have a Facebook group called Women Collaborating Globally, because obviously that's what we want to do, help each other. And then I've also got a biography called Becoming Annie, the biography of a curious woman, because curiosity, April, has been what has saved me and created this fun-loving girl that you're interviewing. Because, if you don't have a bit of a fun spirit, I tell you what, 4 kids in 2 years and having some dreams, it's going to smash you if you don't have a what if I could attitude in life. So that's a lot about me. I'm a woman of many, many hats, as we all are, right?
Yeah. Well, some people just have an empty hat, no head. And that's true. But I mean, you've done so much, and you also achieved multiple degrees while you had your small children.
Exactly. So I did 3 degrees while navigating kids, and it was hard, right? Like, tell you what, if people go, you're so lucky. I have many people say to me now, Annie, I'm 53, and they go, you're so lucky. Like, how did you become a CEO for the last decade? And how do you get on these boards and bits and pieces? And you know what, April, luck happens a lot more to people who actually know what they want to achieve, believe in themselves, back themselves, and do it against the naysayers, right? Because I had many. I had the people so I started off doing nursing because I had a heart. I wanted to be a businesswoman. I always knew, right? As a teenager, I wanted to be a businesswoman. And I got told I didn't have a financial mindset. And I wouldn't be a good mom if I became a business person, because they'd always be busy. Like these massive blanket statements that hit to your core, right? So I took them on as a truth because they were told to me by my parents and others. And I didn't even have kids then, but I went, whoa, well, I want to be a good mom, right? I didn't realize I didn't have the aptitude because I thought I was quite smart. Like, how you just go, oh, but they must be true. Right. So I ended up doing nursing. So I became a nurse, a registered nurse, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nurses are awesome. But it wasn't enough, right?
I think nurses are better than doctors.
Nurses are awesome, and they help you triage things, problem solve, best training actually to ground you in life. And then I had my twins, and then I had my second set of twins. So I had twins when I was 23, and then I had another set of twins when I was 25.
Okay,
and I just
break right there. What did you, the first set of twins, you're like, oh, okay, this is wonderful. This is exciting. And then when you go in the second time and they tell you that you're having twins again, what was the look on your face?
Our face was so different, April. The first set, I was 23 years old, hubby's 25, we're all loved up. And then you're at the ultrasound and they go, baby number 1, baby number 2. And we're like, wow. And we went out, we bought twin bottles of champagne. We're like, wow, we're the chosen ones, right? And so it was super exciting and super blessing. We had these twin boys. And then hubby and I go, oh, well, our life's already crazy with these babies. We should just have one more and then we're done, right? We'll just stack it on. I know, not the smartest at that stage of my life, but whatever. And then so they were 14 months old when I'm at the scan for the second one. And I had been saying to hubby, you know what? It feels the same. You'd think it'd feel different. And he's like, oh, babe, you're just losing shape, like whatever, as they do. And then anyway, bub number 1, bub number 2. And we were like, hadn't even entered our mind. We went off to the cafe and it was such a different experience. We just sat there because, and we're like, it was just like nothing, because it was like new car, new house, poverty for years. Like the practicalities, while we'd left our little 2-year-old boys, like our babies, they weren't even 2, at a friend's house. We're like, wow, how are we going to be those people who are going to be 25 years old with 4 little babies? There were babies everywhere. You're breastfeeding twins with 2-year-old boys just crazy running around the house. it was a pretty full-on time. But you know what? We always had this attitude of we're always going to see the goodness. If God has blessed us and God has given us this journey, I'm not going to fight it. I'm never going to be that person who says, well, I can't do this. Everyone comes to you and goes, how do you cope? Well, you cope. What do you give them back? No. You go,
okay, but where did baby number 5 come from? Did you already have one child before the twins, or
baby number 5 came 6 years later, because just a blessing from God. It was really funny actually, April, because I'd always said after I had the 4 kids, I went and said, you know what? And the second set of twins were boy girl, so I had 3 boys and 1 girl, and I went, you know what? If I could have one little girl, I would, but I would not risk it. And then I had this dream that I had triplet boys, and I went, whoa, what is happening? And then 6 years later, yes, meant to be. And we had 1 gorgeous little girl, and all my friends are like going, oh my gosh. So they thought, and she's just been the best blessing to our world.
Well, of course, all children are a
all
blessing.
children are. And you go, wow, it's just amazing. And you know what? That's right. When you go, there's a higher plan, and it completes you, so it's completed our world, and absolutely beautiful. So yeah, one more just to say, God's not having so much fun. I'll just throw one more in.
You have almost a basketball team. So now you springboard, and your husband is building this business.
Yes.
In the background while you co-parent. Because I'm sure that, you need a nanny, grandma, grandpa, husband, everybody, all hands on deck for all these kids. But as he's building this business, what drove him into optical work?
So he was always optical. So he came out and did optical qualifications and became an optician. So he was working at this stage when the kids were young in optical, and I was nursing and then having all the kids and having, on and off, still trying to do the odd nursing shift, even around 4 babies, because we, needed the money. And then over that time, both of us, late 20s, we're like going, okay, well, how are we going to grow our future self, right? So he then had a grand plan. Wouldn't it be great if he could have his own college one day? So that was always a seed. And then I went and said, okay, well, I'm a nurse, always wanted to be a businesswoman, but I do have children everywhere. And I still had these seeds in my head that I didn't want to risk being a good mom because I have all these ideas. So I really struggled with the ideas. So I then, his career, because he was a man, easier, awesome hubby, just so hands-on, like seriously amazing, still married after 33 years and love that man to death, but also easier journey, whereas my journey was, okay, well, how am I going to do this? And so I didn't have the money to suddenly do an MBA. I didn't have the capacity while I had 4 little babies. So I then went and said, okay, well, if I've got the end goal, always believe in the dream. And I then did a graduate diploma. I did a teaching qualification. So I thought at least I can become a head teacher of nursing, right? Because that's then helps me to be a bit of a manager. It was all stepping stones, right? We've got to have stepping stones. We've got to be really creative. So I did that. I did a grad dip, and then I did a master's of education, and I did become the head teacher of nursing. And then I got poached by the orthopedic surgeons to then run their training college. And then I went, well, when you go up another level, April, and you go, well, what could I do from here? Right. And then I went, I need to do business. I could actually do business. Maybe my parents were wrong. Maybe I do have, and I still seem to be a good mom. I still seem to be doing it. So, and then I still get people going, oh, you're, it's a shame you're so doing this and this because your kids must miss out. People are cruel, right?
Well, they're judgmental, but as you build this business and you build this career into optics, how did you springboard from where you were into eye care and eye disease? Because I really want to touch on that.
Yeah. So I springboard from there to actually go in my heart. I'd been a CEO then in my journey for probably about 8 years, and James has always been in optical. So we've had this optical family really for 30 years. And so, and his college just started going crazy. Like we're the biggest training college in Australia, New Zealand. And I love optical. I love the health promotion part of it, that you can prevent certain things, eye care. And so it was a logical choice that when I saw the CEO job for Glaucoma Australia, I went, oh my gosh. So I went for it and got it. So we're now both in optical. He does the training in Australia and I run the college, the charity. And so, and glaucoma is one of those diseases, as you know, that, you know, it is strongly genetic, but a lot of it, if you get early detection, you can save a lot of sight. You don't have to go blind. So many of people in our generation remember a grandma or a dad or something who actually did go blind from glaucoma, but that's because they waited till they noticed their vision loss. Whereas you're going to be half blind, if you like, by the time you do that. So my job is all about educating people about eye disease, that goes and says, go and get yourself checked before, just as like you check your breast for breast cancer or bowel tests, whatever. You don't wait for the symptoms. You just become health aware, right? And that has changed massively. So now people,
I will self-disclose, and let me just kind of share this a little bit. Okay. Is that I had no idea that I had glaucoma. I just thought that it was a change in my vision. I'm getting older. I'm starting to wear glasses. I never wore glasses before. I'm starting to see little blurry things. And so now I can't stand the eye drop. It's only in one eye, but I can't stand the eye drop because it burns. It kind of burns. So now what I do is I try to moisten the eye about 30-40 minutes before I actually put the drop in. It makes it a little bit easier, but I'll be real honest with you, Brains. I wasn't really on top of it. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm seeing okay. I put the glasses on. It's not a problem. And it is a slow progressiveness that will close the optic nerve and, you know, be blind. I have family members that are all diabetics. You know, diabetes is running rampant. My mother has had both of her eyes with cataracts. So there's a lot of things, a lot of eye disease that people take for granted.
oh, you take it for, yeah, you do take it for granted because you just don't see anything. And the thing, what you have noticed, April, is that glaucoma it's basically damage to the optic nerve. You've got your vision goes through a nerve to the back of your brain, and if you have damage to that nerve, then your vision will close over. And what happens is that usually happens for a variety of reasons, which we don't have time to come into, but your damage is peripheral. So basically, if I imagine, like I'm using my hands, all of that, like a horse blinker, if you lost this vision on the outside, you don't notice it because you just turn your head. You know, it happens so slowly, but that vision is irreversible loss, right? Even when you get onto it, you take your drops, you're hoping to not continue that loss. And so that's why to the naked eye, you wouldn't notice it. By the time you notice it, you've got significant vision problems. And so you want to do it when you don't notice it, which doesn't sound logical, right? We usually wait till we break an arm or a leg and you see something and then you get treatment. So this is one of those things that just goes, you know, in Australia, we encourage everyone to get their eyes tested every 2 years from 50 or 40 if you've got a family history of eye disease. And so we're changing a culture. And because of that, we're finding people 20 years earlier. So instead of people getting found at 80, we're finding them at 60. Well, that's great because they're not going to go blind because they'll take those drops. And by the way, April, if the drops are stinging, you can get preservative-free eye drops. So ask your ophthalmologist about that because
I'm writing it down right now.
it might be the preservative.
And you know, and it's strange. I'll put the drop in the one eye, and then I wake up with dryness and irritation in the other eye.
Yeah, that's right, because it's all connected, right? So your structures are connected. So yeah.
No, that's crazy. And you know, I had another situation with a family member that got a cold sore, the herpesvirus in their eye. I couldn't believe that. And you know, it progressed and they thought they were going to have a cornea transplant and all of that, but the drops actually help. So eye disease is really, really something that we really need to take seriously. But also glasses, girl. Now, let me tell you, you will see online, I'm not going to call out any particular company, but you see all of these advertisements with these tricked out frames, and you order them from God knows where, and they come back to you, and you like the tricked out frames, but are they really beneficial to your eyes?
Okay.
And sometimes people get, headaches from wearing glasses. What do you suggest about that? Because glasses are expensive.
Glasses are so expensive, but the frame does nothing to your vision. So frame is just fashion. Okay, it's the lenses. So if you're going to pay for some quality, it's in the lenses, right? It's the types of lenses. You definitely don't want glass lenses. They can create damage to your eyes if you have an accident.
Oh, really? So you should get plastic ones?
Yeah, you definitely, yeah. And then you can get glare resistant, you can get different sort of aspects. It's the quality. I would be paying for the quality of the lenses. The frames, that's a whole other area. That's just fashion, gorgeous. So, that's right. It's, that's what my husband's course does, for your shape of your face, what suits you, what's on trend, what are the colors. Some of them have got like interchangeable. There's a whole world of
You know what I noticed too is that changing your eyewear can take 10 to 15 years off of your look brains. You get these little, whatevers, but get some tricked out glasses. I'm not real responsible though. People see my glasses all the time. I don't invest a lot because some glasses can cost like $400 or $500, and I, will sit on them or or I want to change them because of my outfit and that. But does that impact you too when you wear different glasses? So you have 3 or 4 different pairs, the same prescription, but and then some people jump to readers. All of these things actually impact your vision.
Yeah,
absolutely. On your eyes, right?
Yeah. And your eyes tire during the day. So for example, I'll have some readers. So readers is a whole other issue that your eyes, like your whole body ages, right? Everything droops and unfortunately moves, but your eyes do as well.
Speak to yourself, not me.
Hey, we're still looking pretty great, gorgeous. And so that's right. So that's when you're around usually 40 to 50, suddenly you'll go, okay, it's usually short-sightedness, which is what we call myopia. And so basically you just need a tiny little prescription. It's just like a +05 or a +1. And so that just is like a magnifier glass, right? That's all it is. You can sort of go up the levels. And sometimes that's right. You might need something in the morning, and then by the afternoon, you need a little bit more because your eyes tire if you've been looking at the screen all the time. So you'll have reader glasses, and then you'll also those, some people are that's all they have, and then there's others with stronger prescriptions, and then they're wearing glasses all the time. And then you'll get multifocal type glasses that you'll then go, okay, if I need distance vision plus up close vision, and then they'll have ones that transition so that you can sort of move like that and you get used to them. Some people get headaches, they don't like that feeling. Everything is a change, right? So there's a whole world of all of that. I love it. I think when I need to wear, I just wear readers in the afternoon at the moment, but if I did need to wear glasses, I'd be one of those people who go, you know what, I'm having a pink day, I'm going to funk it up.
I love it. I love it.
I see them as a fashion accessory, right? So I think own it.
The thing with eye care, it is again something that you can't replace. I have a dear friend that's been on my show, Connor, and Connor progressively lost his sight and now he's completely blind, but he's a skateboarder. Go figure.
Right?
And I was thinking about that, because I'm a donor.
Mm-hmm.
Donating your eyes in the event of your demise. Do people do that?
You can do it. They do parts of it. You can't get that I'm aware of an eye transplant, not like a liver transplant, kidney transplant, heart transplant. So eyes, if you're blind, you can't then just get an eye transplant. Saying that, parts of tissues and bits and pieces, it all happens to the nerve, it's nerve regeneration.
Okay.
So if you could do that, you could do, you'd stop people being paraplegics and quadriplegics and other things. So we're still working.
I'm just thinking that even the nerves are so sensitive. I don't know how they could transfer nerves into someone else's, like a cornea. They do have cornea transplants.
Cornea transplants, yes. So what I'm saying is they'll do parts of it, but the actual whole lot, because you've got nerves and that sort of technicality, that's my understanding is not possible. Otherwise, everyone blind would do that, you know. Isn't it amazing, April, what people can do though? You know, the human spirit, I constantly get amazed when I watch, you know, any type of, you know, Paralympics and bits and pieces. It's phenomenal, that spirit to go, I will do it anyway. That's right. Imagine the bravery.
I know, and the courage. So now, what are you pouring into women? Because you have a very, very active group. You
Yeah.
are on all these boards. You are a mentor. What are you pouring into these women?
I'm pouring into them belief. Belief. You've got to believe to achieve, right, April? And a lot of people have lost that belief. They've had those little voices in their head, like I did when I was young, that when it said you can't, or they've had a life experience that they've, you know, failed a few times and taken that as a truth, or that they can't. And so I basically take them from, you know, surviving to thriving. I go and say, well, why not? That curiosity, right? Like, just like my biography was written, that goes and says, yeah, I could have believed that, and I would have just been, you know, stuck. And there's so many women globally who are just feeling stuck and overwhelmed by their circumstance, or have these little dreams, but they almost like dare to dream. And what happens is, you can see it in their body, they withdraw. Whereas my whole business is actually lean in. You lean into an empowered future. You know, you've been given those words. We're also unique and beautifully authentic, right? So you need to tap into that. If you've had that love or desire to do something like I did, I wanted to be a businesswoman. Well, what are the stepping stones? So I coach women to go look at your circumstance holistically. What do you know, because we've all got different support systems, gifts, talents, values. I help them tap into all of that and then go, okay, and now I do achievable steps with them to achieve where they want to go. And some of those things, that's right, it's not an overnight success model, but we will celebrate all the time. I'm like the balance between a cheerleader and an accountability coach. And I'm into celebrating often, right? So all I want to go is, you know, if I waited, if my goal was to be the CEO, what would I have gone there from being blessed with these 4 kiddies to then going, one day I'll be successful? Absolutely. That's a wrong attitude. I needed to go, okay, well, what are all the stepping stones? So every little promotion, every little degree, every little night class I did around my busy family gave me a win. And that's what I do with women now. I go every week when they come to their coaching, I go, what is your win? You have had something, you've noticed something, you've learned something, you've had it, and we celebrate it, because that creates energy and momentum. And what happens is, I'm helping making a global tribe. My program is called Magic Transformation. So I have a magic tribe, right? Because we make magic happen every day. And basically opportunities are in front of us. And so we stack on each other. And so you've got to also, April, be surrounded by people who empower you and believe in you. So many people get stuck and surround their time with the naysayers or the negative. Well, hello, you become like them. You believe that. Who cares? It's about backing yourself. And even if you don't back yourself totally, but you just have a little flicker of a light, right? Join a group and then get surrounded by people who go, yeah, sister, you do that. Give it a go.
You have to feel the fear and yet do it anyway. You really have to walk into your purpose. I'm a visualized person. I'm a person that I already see the end result. Yeah, I'm already there. I'm already sitting behind this big oak table with these glass windows on the 27th floor of a high rise, looking good with a beautiful crystal glass with my favorite libation in it, you know, and then look over at my balance sheet and see all this money. That is how I have been able to really thrive and achieve the things that I have. I mean, because, you know, I started podcasting 15 years ago when podcasting was in its inception. People had no idea of what this was. And I visualized what I wanted to be. And here I am. Right now, I'm booking into midsummer. I've got 38 interviews, you know, where some people can't get one, but it's about consistency. It's about tenacity. It's about, you know, that neuro-linguistic programming, how you talk to yourself, how you frame it. And dream the impossible dream. Dream really, really, really big, brains. Don't be limited, you know, because people are still playing small, Annie. You know that.
They're playing so small, April. My favorite quote is, you know, dream so big that you have to grow to grow into that dream, right? You know, it's almost like a ridiculous concept. You know, we call them big, hairy, audacious goals, right? But you're like, just go crazy stuff. Like if I was 20, when I was 23 and I go one, you know, limiting, I hope I can do this qualification, or I hope I can then be that manager, and I hope I can do that. You know, that's great. It did help me, but that's right. Like you, April, what about I want to imagine if I could be running an eye health charity that's impacting you know, millions of people. I'm on the world stage. I speak at global congresses now because my voice matters and I have something to share, and it is empowering. I get to have my heart passion for women, you know, in an online program. Now, I then have to do the work, but once you dream that big, April, suddenly all the steps become clear, because my view is you either moving towards or away from your empowered future and dream, right?
You
And
know,
so
I tell people too that, you know, everyone loves this big $25 word, entrepreneur, but you can end up being entrepreneur. You can work, as we here in the US, you can have a W-2 job and still be an impactor and an influencer. You can still be fulfilled. You don't have to have your own business, but you can be an independent contributor into a great business. I mean, I'm sure that your employees that you have working for you are just so excited because you're so bubbly. Well, I mean, really, you appreciate them, you value them, you coach them, you give them opportunities to expand and to grow and promote and all of those things, instead of keeping your employees, you know, pressed down and suppressed. Cultivate them. Wouldn't you agree?
I so agree. I love it. That's one of my things that I, you know, I have a responsibility now as that's right. I have a lot of staff and I have a responsibility to go, well, I can't blame anyone else, right? I am there to make sure that they are valued, they're appreciated, they're supported. And also, April, that's right. Not everyone wants to be at the top of the tree, whatever the tree is. Not everyone wants to stand on the top of the mountain. Many people are happy just being, you know, the 2IC part of the group, and we need everybody in the team. So that's exactly it. And now it's really awesome. Actually, COVID's been a favor in that way. Now it's been a reason to give them more flexibility. You know, that's right. Like I had one yesterday who wanted to go to the Easter hat parade with her daughter. And like she came into my office and she goes, is that okay? And I went, absolutely. You go to those things that I did miss because I was still trying to be good enough for the men, right? In my stage early on. Now I have that joy that I go, you do that. And because they appreciate the flexibility, their value, that I value their life, their family, they always work ridiculous. It's not even a choice. You know, if that was your argument if when you're hard on people and you suppress people, they'll only do the minimum. Right. You bless people and value them, they come back. I get amazed by how much, like my team make me look so much better than I am because they're so passionate, because they know I'm passionate, that I love them, I value them, and I support them. And then they're like, oh man, we're all in. And that's what one of my favorite words is synergy. Right. And that's exactly what I create. That synergy is that the sum of the parts, the result is so much bigger, right? And then that's it. You get the bigger that team, the bigger the tribe, the bigger, you know, what you're doing, you actually get a movement. You do. Yeah. It's palpable, right?
I mean, and then they pour into others and it just blossoms. And then when they become an employer, you know, or when they look back on their life, they, you know, or someone's looking at them over in their coffin, they can say that they were more than just a hard worker. They can say that they have been an individual contributor to society. Annie, you are absolutely amazing. You are a fireball, and I'm so glad to have you here on the edge with me and the brains. What I'd like for you to do is tell my brains how to get in contact with you.
Oh, well, brains, I'd love you to come to AnnieGibbins.com. So that's ANNIEGIBBINS.com. There you'll find pretty much everything about me. I'm all over LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, but just go to AnnieGibbins.com and you'll find it all. You'll find out about my Magic Transformation Program. If you're wanting some coaching, you can get one-to-one or group. It's a global tribe. It's all in your own time, no assessment, super flexible, because, hey, that's what we need for busy women. And you basically just go, if you're one of those women out there who goes, you know, I think I'm more, right? My 3 words are be more, achieve more, earn more, you know, in your life. And, you know, if you want to do that and be part of a tribe, then come and join me. You'll also be able to then find my podcast, which you can listen to, Memoirs of Successful Women. Yes. And also find how to get my book, Becoming Annie.
Oh, I love that. I love
all
that.
global. Yeah, it's on all platforms, Amazon, but you can just find the details. You can read some little testimonials on my website. And so yeah, come and join me, come and visit, or just come and say hello, drop an email, and I will personally.
Exactly. And let her know. I mean, because like I said, Brains, I bring you only the best and the brightest here on the edge. I'm not playing. I'm just saying. I go to the far reaches of the earth because these people have been vetted. They are proven success. Again, just alone having 4 kids within 26 months of one another, you should get a gold star for that. But to be able to sustain, a marriage, to acquire all these degrees, build a business, have a smile on your face, be happy, perky, write a book, you are one amazing woman. And I thank you so much for being here on the edge.
Thanks, darling. It's been so wonderful to join you. And yeah, all love to you. Keep doing what you're doing. You've been a pioneer in this space, right? You've been doing it before everyone was doing it. And so, that's right. Just keep giving, and the world's a better place. And people will know if it resonates with them, they know who to connect to, right?
They will. Brains, I need you to connect. I need you to go and right now subscribe to everything. Follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blog Talk, iTunes, Mixcloud, Spotify. You want me to sing it for you? I'll sing it for you. Because I want you to win, okay? I'm not doing it for shit and giggles. I'm doing it for results, impacts, and I'm working with influencers. Thank you so much again, Annie. Come on back to the edge anytime, baby. There's always a seat at the table for you.
Let's have a cup of tea together.
Here's to you.